Hi, I'm Mohad, founder and CEO of ThinkUp. In this video, I would like to show you the first stage of building a successful startup, which is idea validation. Now, what's idea validation all about? It's about validating your problem, making sure it's real and it's widespread. It's about validating the solution, making sure it fits your potential customers. It's about validating your market, making sure it's big enough and it's growing, and making sure you have a differentiation in the market, you have something unique. Why are we doing that? Well, we're validating the problem and solution because that's the first step of reaching product market fit, to make sure that once we build a product and we go to market, people will actually want to buy it. Why are we validating the market? Because we want to pursue a big opportunity. We want to create a big company. And why do we want to make sure we have something unique? Because that would be an easier go to market later on, not competing in a broad ocean. So I would like to show you how to validate your idea using our platform, which is an AI-powered SaaS solution to help you, entrepreneurs, turn your ideas into successful startups and initially market-ready ventures. Well, we leverage startup best practices and proven methodologies in order to help you build your startups more professionally and more effectively. Our system is built in a modular way, and it consists of modules, or as we like to call them, steps. Now let's see which step will help you in each goal. So validating the problem, we have the customer discovery and user research steps. In customer discovery, you identify your end users and decision makers, and you make some assumptions about their pains and needs. And in user research, you go out and interview those potential customers and validate their pains and needs. For validating the solution, we have two steps: product concept and product concept validation. In the product concept step, you conceptualize your product in a high level and formulate your capabilities or plan your capabilities. In the product concept validation, you go out again, you interview potential customers, you present them with a demo or a mock-up, and make sure it resonates with them. In order to analyze the market and validate its size, we have the market overview step. And in order to understand your unique value proposition, we have the competitive analysis step, where you compare yourself to your competitors. Now we're going to take an example, a startup that already exists. We're going to use it as a starting point. Let's see what the ThinkUp platform takes us.
So for today's video example, we're going to use Outerport as a starting point. Outerport is a member or participant of the YCS24 batch. They like to tag themselves as VMware for GPU, just like VMware is virtualizing standard CPUs, running multiple instances on the same hardware. They would like to run multiple LLM models on the same GPU. The problem that they are trying to solve is horizontal scaling of LLMs, which means distributing the workloads on or across multiple servers, in contrast to vertical scaling, which means using bigger and better machines. Solution that they are offering is using cache daemon with some predictive algorithms to swap between foundation models. There's a very deep tech jargon here. You have to be very knowledgeable about this domain in order to understand this example. The team is highly experienced. Two founders work for the biggest names: NVIDIA, Meta, and LinkedIn. Lots of experience with LLMs and AI. Starting with customer discovery, we've mapped around 8 personas as end users, decision makers, and decision influencers. We've dived into the AI infrastructure manager just as an example. His main goal is to hyperscale inference and deployment of foundation models, and we believe his main pain is lengthy model loading times. Now in user research, you have to go out, interview your potential customers. Obviously in this video we're not going to do that, just showing an example from another journey how that would look on our platform once you've interviewed and upload the interview script to our platform. So again, this is an example from another journey where you can see that the personas, needs and pains have been validated, and we've identified alternative solution that this persona is using. this will be used for later on the competitive analysis and understanding what your product should look like and how it should be differentiated. Moving on to market overview, there are two methods, top down and bottom up, to understand the market size and trajectory. When we started with top down, we had some difficulties of deciding which is the best industry segment to describe or to include Outerport. Well, cloud computing and data centers are too wide, and the GPU market is not a great fit since they're not manufacturing or selling GPUs. However, the CAGR could be a good fit, a good starting point. This industry is exploding, 33%. So the top-down methods is not relevant. We're going to revert to the bottom-up. This is the formula that we use. In terms of unit of measure, we've chosen the number of clients, and the number of clients is the number of companies buying GPUs for LLM use. Please note that companies that are buying GPUs for crypto or mining are irrelevant. In order to understand how many companies are buying GPUs, we've reverted to ChatGPT and NVIDIA blog, and we have an estimated total of 2,000 to 4,500. Now the question is, how much are they willing to pay for Outerport solution? So we figured that we're going to use the value proposition of Outerport of cost saving. So that leads us to try to understand how much companies are spending annually on GPUs. We estimate that as $1 million. We're not domain experts, so our assumptions might be wrong. Outerport claims to help clients save 40% annually. This brings us to a total of $400,000 annual savings. Now, for a total of $400,000 saving a year, how much will the companies be willing to pay? We assume it's going to be 10%, which brings us to $40,000 annual. This brings us to a total addressable market of $120 million, which is quite small, but it's quite expected since this industry has started exploding just a couple of years ago. What could make this a big opportunity is the CAGR, the fact that this industry is exploding. It could reach a much bigger market size in future years. Moving on to product concept, this step will allow you to conceptualize your product, starting point to develop your mock-up, your demo, and later on your MVP. This could also help you with some marketing messages and campaign. Starting with the overarching product statement, we have to write down and convey the message of what is the value proposition and how are we doing that. We then need to define the capabilities on a high level, and it's you and only you that can do that. This is your creative part of you, the entrepreneur. We just copy-paste that from Outerport YC website. We have a few capabilities here, and they all have to be tied to the persona needs. Please don't develop any capabilities that don't target, that don't answer any unmet need of your persona. Otherwise, they won't buy it. The architecture of the solution on a high level as provided by Outerport on the website. We can see the AI researchers and developers as users on one side, the admins on the other side, the registry of LLMs in the middle, and they're being deployed to groups, sometimes they're of GPUs, sometimes isolated, sometimes shared. This is where the Outerport solution comes into play. So what is the value proposition that Outerport's product is trying to achieve, trying to provide to their customers? So they're trying to provide to the customers to help them achieve hyperscale inference of foundation models. This is on a high level. And if we want to be a bit more specific, then that's lightning fast load times and simplify model management in all sorts of ways. Moving on to competitive analysis. Now, the ThinkUp platform has provided us with a few suggestions. We've researched and looked into them. They're all in the AI infrastructure, foundation models, management and deployment, trying to improve productivity, simplify processes, and reduce cost. But we haven't seen anyone targeting load times and trying to decrease them and improve them. So this could be reasonable since this is a new space, a new segment, and there's no direct competition, so Outerport can be first to market. Now, summarizing the competitive analysis, what is the unique value that Outerport could provide? So they are focused on, again, lightning fast model load times. What will keep them competitive for future years? It's the team. The team, highly experienced team, and very fit to solve this problem. Finally, let's summarize the entire process of idea validation. So we need to identify and validate the problem. The problem we believe to be lengthy model load times, and this has to be validated by interviewing users, potential users. The solution, we have conceptualized it and its capabilities in the product concept step, and it has to be again demonstrated and validated with potential customers. The market analysis showed us that at the moment it's a very small market, but it's growing very fast. Again, we might be wrong about our assumptions since we're not expert on this domain. In terms of uniqueness, we haven't found any direct competitors targeting the same pain, offering the same value. And again, the team is a big advantage in this company. So let us know your comments, your feedback. We'll be happy to create more videos like this. Please send us your suggestions. And don't forget, if you have a great idea, log on to our platform and start your journey. Thank you.